Welcome aboard, applicants. I thought we would begin with the first year law students exam, October 2010, question number 2. As with all essay questions, we begin with the call of the question, so let's begin there. Under what theory or theories might Reboot bring a lawsuit against Data? What defenses, if any, can Data assert, and which party is likely to prevail? Okay, we don't know yet what type of area of law we're dealing with, so let's peek up here at this particular paragraph. Nothing gives us a clue there, so let's actually read our actually first let me before we do that, let's start answering this. So Reboot v Data, but we don't know the area of law yet, so let's go up to our question. Data is a data processing company. Data's business depends on the operation of several large computers. Data decided to employ an outside company to provide computer maintenance and service. Data's president and other corporate officers met with the president of Reboot to discuss a computer service agreement. The next day, Reboot faxed its standard form contract to Data. The contract reads as follows. Client hereby agrees to purchase computer maintenance services from Reboot at a cost of $2,000 per month. Reboot hereby agrees to provide up to 10 hours of service per month with additional hours payable at $300 per hour. Reboot further agrees that it will provide same-day service in response to every service request. This agreement shall expire 1 year from the date on which it is made. In the event that client fails to make a payment required under this agreement, 80% of the entire remaining balance under the agreement shall become immediately due and payable. Data signed and returned the contract and made the first $2,000 payment. During the first month of the agreement, Data made 2 service requests. Both requests were received by Reboot at 9 a.m. In each case, Reboot personnel arrived at Data's offices at noon and quickly fixed the problem. In both cases, or both instances, Data's president complained about the delay, but was told it was an unusually busy day. After the second service call, Data sent a fax to Reboot stating that Data would make no further payments under the contract. Data later hired a different service company. Reboot then sent a letter to Data demanding $17,600 representing 80% of the remaining balance. When Data refused to pay, Reboot filed a lawsuit. The president of Data claims that during the initial meeting with Reboot's president, she told him that it was absolutely crucial that Reboot respond to service requests within 1 hour. She says that Reboot's president told the group, "I understand. If you sign up with us, I promise we'll be there within an hour." First of all, we know what our area of law is. It's contract law. So we do contract formation, third-party rights, covenants, conditions, excuses, discharge, duty to perform, breach of contract, and remedies. Now, bringing this to the second page here, let's now let's read this for issue spotting. Data is a data processing company. Okay, Data's business depends on the operation of several large computers. Data decided to employ an outside company to provide computer maintenance and service. So what does this sound like to you in terms of an area of our applicable law here? Common law, exactly right. Okay, applicable law. Common law. Why? Because we're dealing with services. Okay. Services being computer maintenance and service. Okay. After having established that, we throw down contract formation. Okay. Offer acceptance consideration without applicable defenses to contract formation. Now, Data decided to employ an outside company to provide computer maintenance and service. Data's president and other corporate officers met with the president of Reboot to discuss a computer service agreement. So make sure to put this in there, computer service agreement. The next day, Reboot faxed its standard form to Data. The contract read as follows. Client hereby agrees to purchase computer maintenance services. So we know that we're in the right area, computer maintenance services, from Reboot at a cost of $200 per month. Okay. Reboot hereby agrees to provide up to 10 hours of service per month with additional hours payable at $300 per hour. Reboot further agrees that it will provide same-day service in response to every service request. This agreement shall expire 1 year from the date on which it was made. In the event the client fails to make a payment, okay, this is interesting here. We're going to be hanging on to that under remedies. 80% of the entire remaining balance under the agreement shall become immediately due and payable. Now down here, we're going to bring up offer, present intent to be bound, or intent to be bound, terms, and communication. Okay, first on the terms, we're going to do quantity. What are we talking about here in terms of quantity? Let's see here. One computer service agreement. Okay, and then time for performance. Let's see here. With I believe. Let's see. Well, here's what it says here, that as to the when it shall time to actually accept it. Reboot further agrees that it will provide same-day service, okay, response to every service request. This agreement shall expire 1 year from the date on which it was made. Okay. Okay, so down here we're going to make sure that, okay, we talk about time for performance. Looks like reasonable time here. Interested parties. This is going to be reboot. And I believe we're dealing with, data. Okay. And then price. $2,000 per month. And subject matter, which is going to be computer maintenance, computer service. Okay. Now, sounds like we have all of our sufficient, all of terms sufficient here. So we have an offer. Make sure to look for acceptance, consideration. We want to make sure to talk about the statute of frauds here in terms of the 1 year rule. Okay. And okay, now data signed and returned the contract and made the first $2,000 payment during the first month of the agreement. Okay, data. Now that we're past formation at this point. Okay, during the first month of the agreement, data made 2 service requests. So we're looking at possible conditions at this point. Okay. Condition precedent. Okay. Both requests were received by Reboot at 9 a.m. In each case, Reboot personnel arrived at Data's offices at noon and quickly fixed the problem. Okay. In both instances, Data's president complained about the delay, but was told it was an unusually busy day. Okay, we're looking at, okay, after the second service call, Data sent a fax to Reboot stating that Data would make no further payments under the contract. Okay. The unusually busy day. I'm thinking to myself here. Possibly a waiver situation. Put a waiver question mark there. Then down here underneath, there's possibly anticipatory repudiation. But right here, okay, up here, after the second service call, Data sent a fax to Reboot stating that it would make no further payments on the contract. Okay, Data later hired a different service company. That's going to be helpful later on in terms of mitigation of damages. Okay, and then Reboot then sent a letter to Data demanding $17,600, representing 80% of the remaining balance. Now, this is the aspect here. We talked about this. I haven't talked about it yet, but we're going to talk about it right now. And this is where we're dealing with a liquidation damages clause. Now, and in that situation, we're talking about whether it was unreasonable. Let's see, unreasonable amount, which is the second element. Difficult to calculate. At the time of contract formation, and a unreasonable amount, whether it's, and if we're looking to see whether or not the unreasonable amount would make the term inside the contract a penalty clause. And if it is, then the liquidated damages clause, excuse me, would not be enforceable. And we're looking here, it's the $17,600 in terms of 80% of the entire contract. We're talking about 1 year. That'd be technically 24,000, 17,000 of 24,000, 17,600 of 24,000. Doesn't seem like it's a reasonable amount, but we'll have to argue that. When Data refused to pay, Reboot filed a lawsuit. Okay, the president of Data claims that during the initial meeting with Reboot's president, she told him that it was absolutely crucial that Reboot respond to service requests within a one hour. Oh, that's right there. I know what that is. That's going to be parole evidence rule. And excuse me, and that she told him that it was absolutely crucial that Reboot respond to service requests within 1 hour. She says that Reboot's president told the group, "I understand. If you sign up with us, I promise we'll be there within an hour." So we're looking at parole evidence rule, but prior communications. But remember, we're going to have the four corners versus the exception. I believe here we're going to be the exception for conditions, establishing a condition or a condition precedent, which would be where this would actually come up here, this aspect about the condition up here, but we'll probably just leave that as is and just bring this up again down here. So now we have breach of contract, and I would say under this one we're going to take a look at substantial performance. And then we're going to look at remedies. Okay, and that's where we're going to bring up mitigation of damages. We talked about liquidation damages clause. Think about expectation damages. And consequential and incidental, and then we can close this up here. And we're going to be talking about Hadley v. Baxendale and incidental damages. And then a conclusion in there. I believe we have this. Bring this up here, save some space. And I think we have this. I should have bring these all together here. Oh, there. I should bring that just like that. Okay. Don't have any third party here. We're walking through our checklist one more time here. Covenants, condition, excuses, discharge duties perform, breach of contract. Oh, you know what? That aspect about the waiver might be considered as impossibility, argument, impracticability, frustration of purpose. Okay, we might throw that one in. Okay, pretty much fills out our list here. I think we got this one. Okay, now we're going to move on to our review section, which is going to be right here. I'm going to bring that up to the next page here. Thank you for your patience with me. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm just going to not go away from the keyboard, but I'm just going to just be typing this out in silent mode right now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Excuse me. right. I think we'll call it with that. Put a bookmark here. If we have to come back, we'll make that the continuation of this bookmark, part 2. Thank you so much. I want to put a shout out to Chess Cruncher TV. Keep chess crunching, Chess Cruncher. I also want to put a shout out to my Amazon Kindle book, Battling the Big Bad Baby Bar Essay Basics. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.